Good morning from South Africa. It may be somewhere else, different time, middle of the night, who knows? So, yes, many timelines, one day on Earth. Fascinating. Anyway, so we are in March, and after everything that's been going on these last couple of years, I'm sure that many of you are actually quite surprised that you have made it this far and that you are still okay, maybe not thriving, maybe going through some difficult times. The energies are very turbulent at the moment as the last of the controlling, let's just call them systems, are being dismantled, and they are almost dismantled. So great things ahead. Told you this was the year of new beginnings, and not just new beginnings, but a brand new lifetime. Remember that things shift energetically long before you see the physical manifestation. So don't, by looking around you, think nothing is happening, okay? It has to shift energetically first, and it has, and it is still shifting. So we are seeing the physical manifestation of the last of the dark holding on and literally fighting for their lives and for their survival. But that shouldn't affect you and I, as long as we stay calm and centered and realize that what we are feeling is not necessarily our own. We may be picking up on things that are going on around the world. So don't keep asking what is wrong with me. Rather ask, how can I manage my own energies within these turbulent energies? I'm in a 7-year, which is a year of rest, recharging, deep thinking. I'm doing a lot of writing this year. And I tried to start recording yesterday, but yesterday, not only was I in a 7-year, but I was in a 7-day as well. And I couldn't understand, why aren't my words flowing? Why can't I come up with the right words? So I stopped the recording and deleted it, and then sat and I realized, I was in a 7-day yesterday. So it wasn't going to happen. So here I am recording today. So let's have a look at what's happening in the world with the global energies right now. Okay. So March 2026. And Janet's Numerology presents Decode Your Month, Personal Year Wisdom and Oracle Insight. So March 2026 is a 1 year globally. The whole of 2026 is a 1 year. For those a little bit more advanced in numerology, it's a 10 1 year, which means the 10 has got a 0 behind it, which means unlimited potential. But the 1 says you have to set your goals and you have to take the first step. So on a global level, we're setting goals and taking a first step. It doesn't mean that this is in alignment with your personal energies, which we're going to get to in a minute. Then in March, we are in a 4-month. Now, again, for those who want the fuller energies behind this, this is a 13-4 month. So this is the month when the old dissipates and the new starts to rise. It's a month of transformation. It is literally a month in which we have to stand strong, apply all the creative things that we were thinking about in February, because February was about dreaming big. It was about what is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you can envision for this world? And then this month is about, right, now the old needs to be let go of and the new needs to start. And it takes hard work. It takes laying foundations, planning, budgeting, and putting those action steps or that to-do list down, okay? So the 13-4 is also a little bit of alchemy, transforming lead into gold, and we are transforming dark into light. So it's a year of new beginnings, and a month of actually now getting down to the nuts and bolts. So laying the foundations, this is very important. If you don't lay the foundations for a house, you can build and it's going to fall to pieces at some point. And you need to build it on solid rock or to build it on a solid foundation. So we are laying the foundation, which is focused work and planning. Shape your project-based future. So see everything that we're going to be doing in the future as a project, whether it's something as small as painting a room in your house, or whether it's something as large as putting up a farm to feed your community and getting all of that done. So it doesn't matter what the project is, how big or how small it is, see it as a project, and it all entails the project management skills, which fall under this number 4, which is the planning, the budgeting, the timelines, what has to be done by when, what can be done concurrently. But most of all, those foundations have to be laid. And anybody who's ever worked with concrete and laying foundations will know that you can't hurry the drying of those foundations. In fact, the longer they take to cure, the stronger they are. And in fact, if they can be cured almost underwater and kept wet, which sounds anyway, it sounds like not quite right to dry foundations, to have them set and dry, but to do so by keeping them wet. So what that also tells you about the 4 and laying foundations is that slow and steady wins the race. This is not a sprint, guys. This is a marathon. And so lay those foundations, give them time to set, make sure that everything is in place before you rush ahead and then realize you're under budgeted, or you forgot some items that were a vital part of what it is you're doing. Maybe you're painting a room and you forgot to budget for paintbrushes, you didn't buy paintbrushes, well, you're not going to get very far, are you? Okay, so in March, the universe asks for focus and planning so your long-term projects can finally take solid shape. So for the whole of 2026, I've made this very easy and simple for you. So for every month from January this year right through to December, if your day and month of birth adds up to one of these numbers, and they will, then you can see what your corresponding personal year number is. So I'm born on the 4th of November, so that's 4 and 11, because November is the 11th month. 4 and 11 is 15. So if I go down and I look for 15, there's 15. And that tells me for the whole of 2026, I am in a personal, this is not global, right? Global, we said 1 year, 4 months. This is personal. So personal for me, I'm in a 7 personal year. So I will go to the section of this video that talks about if you are in a 7 personal year, and then it will tell you for the month of March, you are in a 1 personal month. But all you need to remember is your personal year, and I will have this on every video. So there we go. 15, personal year 7, and like I said, I am in a 7 year, and yesterday I was in a personal 7 day. And so the 7 is all about processing. And that was why I couldn't finish the video yesterday. I restarted today. So beginning of a new cycle, and you can read my blog or listen to it on YouTube when the power comes home of what I predicted with numerology would happen in this year. So I've pre-selected the cards for each personal month reading, but I'm now going to select a card for the global energies of March. And to do that, I'm going to stop screen sharing And I'm going to show you as I do this live. Okay, so these are my oracle cards, my numerology oracle cards, and shuffling them. And then I'm looking for a card for the global energies for March. This is me, coming to focus, muscle testing, okay? Muscle testing for the cards. I split the deck in two, and this one indicates, split that in two. This one indicates that one, that one, 3 cards left, that one. Okay, and now, ta-da, limitless potential, the 0. Oh, wow. And now, this is as much a surprise of me because for me as you, because I have done this live now, and I've heard lots of people that do astrology talking about us being now at the 0 point, like a whole new start. And in numerology, the 0 is limitless potential. However, guys, limitless potential doesn't give you an indication of what it is that you need to do. And so that can be confusing sometimes because there's no direction. And if you ask the universe, well, what is it that I need to do? You ask the creator, okay, what is it that we need to do? If he were a man, which he ain't, but if he were a man, he would probably just smile and say to you, I don't know, figure it out. You can do anything you like. And that's where we are now. We're on a blank canvas, just as white and blank as this wall behind me, because I've moved into a new place. That's why you don't see the blue wall. So anyway, limitless potential. And I'm going to read you from my book, what are the blessings? Because this month, I think I'm going to focus on the 3rd paragraph when I read each one, because the 3rd paragraph is the blessings. So, yet even now, the hidden host surrounds you, a river of divine energy, a gathering of angels, ancestors, and spirits unseen, ready to move at your invitation. They await your call. Within you stirs a well of untouched, wild power. How exciting is that? Okay, so I'm very excited now. I hope I'm going to be able to talk slowly as I continue. All right. So let me get back to that. All right. So we've got the March card. You saw me do it live. 0 card. We're at the 0 point moving forward. Wow, I want to cry. Okay, so if your day and month of birth adds up to 9, 18, 27, or 36, then you are in a personal year 1, not global, personal. And that makes your personal month number a 4. So you move in the same energies as the global energies. So you are on track, feeling the same as what the rest of the world feels on a collective level. And if you were born and these are your energies, then there's a reason for that as well. Okay, so the 4, as you know, is all about structure. It's about planning, and it's about laying those foundations. Together with the 1 says get going and lay those foundations. If you don't have your goals and your plans yet, now is the time to do that and to start laying those plans. You can always change them later. You can change your goals. You can tweak your plans, all kinds of things. But if you do not take the first step, nothing's going to happen. Right. And the card that came up for you, card number 75, which is friends. And when I got this card, I was like, I wonder how that fits in. And then I remembered the 1 likes to do things on their own. They like to be the leader. And you know, the leader doesn't always have friends, hey? They are there to lead, and depending on their leadership style, people either like them or don't like them, respect them, don't respect them, but they're not there to be friends with everybody. They're there to lead, to take initiative, and to break through those glass ceilings, okay? And now in a personal month 4, the 4 manages processes, it puts things in place, it plans, it jumps up and down if people spend too much and overspend on the budget. So at the end of the day, I suppose that the 1 and the 4 are not particularly good numbers for friendship. And so maybe that's why this has come up, just to remind you that in all of this getting going and planning, not to forget the balance in life, and friends are very important. So I'm going to 75 and let's see what the blessings are to do with friends. The blessing before you now is a sacred invitation to awaken the spirit of true friendship within and around you. You are held in a graceful moment, alive with curiosity, openness, and soul-deep renewal. In this space, new connections may blossom, and old bonds may be rekindled. To nurture a true friend is to walk a divine path of shared growth, compassion, and joy. For in the eyes of a kindred soul, you glimpse the reflection of the divine. Okay. So there we go. Okay, moving on. If your day and month of birth add up to 10, 19, 28, or 37, you are in a personal year 2. And that means that in March, you are in a personal month 5. Now, when you get the 2 and the 5 together, you need to really, really look after your mental well-being and your nervous system. And you need to really make sure that you are calming that down. So the 2 can also trigger the immune system if you're not listening, if you're not working together with others, taking others into consideration, or if you're not listening to the small, still voice of the divine, which we also know as our intuition, you're going to be laid flat on your back. Your immune system will play up because you're out of sync with what you're supposed to be focusing on. And so this is a slow-moving, intuitive year. It's not your year that you push. Last year was the year you set your goals. This year, you float, you're receptive, and you exhale, okay? Next year is going to be a very busy, lively year. So your personal month number is 5, and if you can imagine a pendulum, right, swinging from one extreme to the next, and with a 5, it will probably look something like this. So fearful that you don't want to risk anything, leave the house, try anything new. You don't even want to try something new on a menu. And then the other extreme is complete reckless abandonment. You're angry, you're frustrated, you want to feel alive, so you drive down that highway at 200 miles an hour. You know you're probably going to have an accident and you might even kill yourself. You actually just don't care. Remember, that's the opposite extreme. Now, somewhere in between is the balance where you experience the new, exciting, and different, new, exciting, and different, and where you take risks, but calculated risks, okay? Safe risks with responsibility. But this is all about getting your life in balance. What are the areas in your life? It's friendship, it's work, it's your spiritual life, it's your family, your exercise, whatever those areas are in your life, you need to bring balance. Now the 5, with that pendulum that's doing this, okay, You want to just slow that down, okay, to a manageable thing. And the 2 is the polarity. Must I go left? Must I go right? Is it light? Is it dark? No, it's not either or, it's both. And so this is about learning how to create non-duality and realizing we need the one for the other one to be seen and to work. So with the 2 and the polarity and the 5 and that pendulum swing, you can be going through a lot on the mental, especially mental, because 5 is a very air number connected to the mind. 2 is a very sensitive number, and that's why it triggers your immune system. So the 2 together need a little bit of TLC throughout this month. So let's see what card came up for you. Okay, taking flight, number 14. Now 14 is the malefic side of the 5. In other words, when the 5 builds up karma, it becomes the 14-5, because 1 and 4 still add up to 5. And the 5 likes movement, it likes to travel, it likes to literally fly. And it likes to have too many irons and too many fires. That's why it flies, so it can get more done and so on. So what the 14 says, and remember, oh my word, yeah, we are in a 1 year globally and a 4 month globally, right? So the global energies are here to help you say, okay, let me, this is number 1, is me, myself, and I, use that number 4, which is the self-discipline of putting the to-do list and the steps into place and being more cautious. Let me use the self-discipline of the 4 to prevent my 5 from going into destructive behavior, because that's what the 5 does. It self-destructs when it goes into the malefic. It drives too fast, it crashes, it makes accidents, it gets addicted to drugs, sex, rock and roll, gambling. It's a fire. Arsonists have got this 14-5. Shootings, anything that happens like quickly and suddenly has usually got to do with the number 5, but very, very addictive. So don't try and soothe your kind of turbulent emotions and sensitivity with things that are going to self-destruct and numb you, like drugs and things like that. So the 14 says, self-discipline, throw caution to the wind, but I still do the number 5 thing. I still think like an entrepreneur. I still probably have too many irons in too many fires. I'm still probably not sleeping too well because my mind is too active. But yes, let's put stuff into place. Like maybe we drink our last coffee at lunchtime, and maybe we have a bedtime ritual, because the 4 loves routine. So have a routine that leads up to a peaceful, calm evening. So there we go. Let's read the blessings of the number 14 to you. Yet burning bright within you now is a sacred gift, the knowing of divine timing, the fearless sense of when to leap into the unknown. You are a weaver of destiny, a gatherer of souls, bringing them together in living creations. You are blessed with a sacred fire of discipline, able to summon balance and focus from the wildness within. Destiny may now open portals to journey far, to build across borders, to launch a venture that ripples across the world. You are blessed with the alchemy to organize your visions into maps, stories, and bold enterprises. You are a soul who learns through the fires of experience. And Spirit calls you now into movement, into risk, into magnificent transformation. This is a season of fierce becoming, not quiet waiting. Okay, so the 2 says, just be, Just become, allow things, go with the flow. And the 5 says, yes, think out of the box, get out of the box, but do it in a balanced way. So, if your day and month of birth adds up to 2, 11, 20, 29, or 38, then for March 2026, you are, the whole of 2026, sorry, you are in a personal year 3, and now in March, your personal month number is a 6. So 3 and 6, both very creative numbers. 3 has to do with thinking creatively, expressing, just being totally like an innocent child who dances and skips and plays and sings and is totally uninhibited and doesn't particularly like to adult, doesn't like responsibility. Mommy can call me when I need to come and eat. Mommy can call me when I need to bath, and mommy can pick up my dirty washing. So the personal year 3 can be a little bit of a naughty child at times, but that can be so much fun. Not the naughty part necessarily, but just that beautiful, creative, childlike energy. Before anybody told you, you don't sing well, please don't ever sing again. You can't draw, please don't ever draw again. Before anybody told you any of that and shut you down. And then 6 is all about procreation. And the 6 is a holistic number. It sits in the middle of the mind plane. So it's holistic thinking, things left brain and right brain. And it brings it all together. And so the 6 tells you you need to do self-love. The 3 tells you you need to have fun. And this in a year of setting your goals and in a year of starting to make those things happen. So let's see, spiritual warrior. This card actually came up for two different personal year and month readings this month. So spiritual warrior, you will see the 16 at the bottom here. 1 and 6 adds up to 7. So in numerology terms, we refer to this as the number 16, 7. And the 7 says, I go within, I withdraw my emotions, I become a little bit of an iceberg, and I do not want to connect at the heart. Because with the 16, you have thrown love away, either because you've been badly hurt or because you are numbing your emotions. The 16-7 is the number for alcohol, affairs, and embezzlement. Embezzlement because the 7 is very intelligent and it does things in a slow, calculated way. And the 6 is all about heart. So with the 16-7, the 6 and 7 are fighting. You're at 6s and 7s. The 7 wins though and says we will not go into matters of the heart. We will find partners that are emotionally unavailable, and we will stay emotionally unavailable. And in that way, we won't get hurt again. So your personal month energy is a 6. So it's saying, no, you have to reconnect to that heart. Now, what's interesting is you need to go into the spiritual side of the 7 to reconnect the heart, even though they're on totally different planes. So the 7 is the mind plane, the understanding of the spiritual concepts. It doesn't mean you've made it yours. The 6 drops it down to the heart. The heart and soul sit here. And so until you've embodied this in heart and soul, the spiritual understanding means nothing. And so the spiritual warriors seek the truth. That's the 7. Take responsibility for self-development. Responsibility is the 6. Self-development is the 7. Remain focused, passionate, which is the 6, and courageous. And now we have the personal 3 energy here, personal year 3 energy, which is also passionate, fiery, creative. Trust your intuition and follow your heart. Do the shadow work. Choose love. Remember, if you look at the levels of consciousness, right, you will see that as you start going into the fifth dimension, you go into the spiritual understanding and the wisdom of the number 7. But a level higher than that is the heart, the number 6, love. And love starts with self-love. You can only love others to the extent that you can love yourself. And that's on a higher level than the intellect. In the past, they've tried to get us to believe that emotions dull the intellect, and that emotions, that there's no place for that in an evolved, intelligent world. But that is not true. It's on a higher level. So they've been squishing us down, stopping us from evolving. And a level above love, which is the 6, you have joy. And joy is the 3. So to find that joy and to begin with a self-love, which means doing things for yourself that you would usually do for others, saying no, putting up those boundaries, and doing the spiritual work to help you get there. That's where you are. So let's go to personal year 4. So if your day and month of birth adds up to 3, 12, 21, 30 or 39, then you are in a personal year 4. And then your March personal month energy is a 7. So a 7 is withdraw, process, study, research, find your truth. And also, because Neptune is one of the energies that go with the number 7, discernment is a 7 thing. What are we discerning? We're discerning truth versus illusion. What is true and what that we see all around us is merely an eye blind, and has been an eye blind for so long that we take it as our truth. Sorry. So 7, lots of rest, lots of sleep, and a little bit of a hibernation kind of number, maybe a little bit of a lone wolf number as well, as you spend time processing. And now if I go to the card that goes together with that, you'll see personal year 4, personal month 7. The 4 and the 7 together actually add up to 11, which is a 2. And the 4 and the 7 together say, I must find my truth and I must make it practical. In other words, you've got to walk and talk your truth every single day. And a very simple way of saying that is you have to be authentic. Don't try and mimic, because the 4 and 7 adding to 11, which is a 2, the 2 loves to mimic. Even in children, you'll see the number 2s mimicking the most popular girl in the class. They suddenly start dressing like them. They start talking like them. They start trying to be them. And that is the complete negative side of this number. You need to walk and talk and be completely yourself. So the root number of 4 plus 7 is 2. And here we have a new cycle beginning. There's the 2 and there's the 8, which has to do with limitless, what is the word? Infinity, cycles. 28 days from full moon to full moon is a cycle, but the moon doesn't die. It starts growing again. And so this is telling me you need to be authentic. You need to claim. The 8 has to do with sovereignty. Sovereignty means you report only to a higher power, not to any earthly structure. But don't do that at the expense of getting into trouble right now with a law or any of the controlling structures, which will fall apart quite soon. So this is telling me this is a new cycle beginning for you. And for me, it feels like it's one of absolute authenticity. If I synthesize what I am seeing here. So let's see the blessings of the number 28. The blessing available to you now is the chance to create something new, such as new venture, business, or a lifestyle change that reflects the wisdom you've gained. You're entering a time of transformation where what you've done in the past will soon feel like preparation for the new opportunities ahead. You are well equipped to bring your vision to life with practical wisdom, intuitive insight, and business savvy. So there are two places here where I could see the 4 and the 7 jumping right out at me. The one is a lifestyle change. So the 4, remember I said that the global energies are a 13-4, which is transformation. It's the breaking of old habits and the forming of new routines and habits. So a lifestyle change that reflects the wisdom you've gained, that's the number 7. And here as well, it said you are well equipped to bring your vision to life with practical wisdom. Practical is the 4 and 7 is the wisdom. And so this is a brand new beginning for you to start implementing that. Oh wow, when I actually start talking about this live and my mind starts running wild and free, then I can see why the cards came up. That did come up. Okay. Personal year 5. So this is a year of expecting the unexpected. I don't know how else to say it. Lots of movement, lots of things happening around you. You may feel a little bit out of control. Things will definitely feel a little bit unpredictable. So expect the unexpected. How do you predict the unexpected? It's unpredictable. So when things change course, or when you're on your way to the shops and you get a phone call, you have to turn around, go in the opposite direction, just go like, oh, okay, this is par for the course. I'm in a 5 here, and that's for the whole of 2026. Your personal month number is an 8. Now the 5 and the 8 together are brilliant numbers for creating large enterprises, for creating entrepreneurial businesses. And the 5 usually has more than one business, which is why it is, what did I call it? An enterprise. Because my understanding of an enterprise is that it has a lot of businesses as branches underneath it. So the 5 and the 8 together are also coaching numbers. They do very well at coaching others, especially in the business sphere. So let's see what card came up, and this is Imagineering. So right, 5 and 8, if I put that together with the 3, 3, 5 and 8 are your super sales. If you add up the vibrations of Coca-Cola and you wonder why it sells worldwide and it's just got international appeal, it's a consumable, which makes it even better. So you'll find the numbers 3, 5, and 8 in there everywhere. So 3 says, I'm imagineering something, I'm imagining it, I'm making it real, and I am being very sociable, friendly, I'm charming, I'm charismatic. With the 0, I have a limitless potential at drawing people towards me. The 5, I can think and change direction very quickly, and that's what a salesman does. You know, he's never short of words to find a different angle to try and sell something to you. And then, of course, 8 is your business and your money number. It's not all that it is, but in sales, definitely that's what one is wanting, is money. I'm not going to get into the 8 too much now, but 3, 5, and 8 super sales. You can imagineer your business this year, this month, to sell ice to an Eskimo. Okay. So if your day and month of birth add up to 5, 14, 23, 32, or 41, then in your personal year 6 for 2026, during March, Your personal month number is a 9. Now, 6 and 9 together, the first thing that comes to mind is these are parenting numbers. 6 is the cosmic mother, 9 is the cosmic father. 6 is about intimate and personal love. 9 is detached love, loving everybody in the whole world, not necessarily liking them. So the 6 does small, intimate home and family love, and the 9 does sort of humanitarian love. So that's the first thing I see when they come together. And the 6 and the 9, you know, is like the yin and the yang almost when you put them next to each other. So this is both kinds of love, and this is both male and female. And a male and a female are usually your traditional kind of parents. I know we have many other groups of people that are parenting, but your traditional one. And here again, the spiritual warrior came up. And here again, we have the 6 as part of this equation. Your personal year is a 6. And 16/7, the 7 prefers to go into the mind and into the knowledge and the wisdom, and to withdraw and shove the feelings of love deep down. The 7 does not want anybody to see what it's feeling. It feels very deeply, but it shoves it down, and it ignores the matters of the heart. And this is the number of affairs, alcohol, toxicity, okay? And so these are toxic emotions, toxic thought, toxic body that leads to many kind of diseases. And so this is saying you have to focus on the heart. Use the spiritual training and the spiritual path and the spiritual connection to your higher self or the creator to help you drop it into the heart sphere. And the heart and love is on a much higher frequency as the intellect and wisdom and understanding. So you need to first gain the wisdom and the understanding before you can drop it into the heart space. And dropping it into the heart space is the 6. Then above that, on the levels of consciousness, we have the joy. And then above that, we have the oneness and the peace, and that's the 9. So this is definitely on the path upwards to ascending that ladder and raising your frequencies. So seek the truth. That's the 7. 16 adds up to 7. Take responsibility for self-development, and your whole year energy is all about responsibility. But your responsibility is first and foremost to yourself, self-love, right? So personal year 6, this is the year where all your chickens come home to roost. The kids arrive, the in-laws arrive, the mothers and fathers need help. And where you thought you had your life perfectly under control, suddenly you find that you're taking care of others and that your boundaries are slipping. So there we go. Responsibility. Remain focused, that's the 7. Passionate is the 6, and courageous. Trust your intuition and follow your heart, okay? Do the shadow work, that's the spiritual work. Choose love. Prioritize holistic wellness and self-love. 6 is a holistic number. It implements both sides of the brain, and it integrates things very, very well. So if your day and month of birth adds to 6, 15, 24, 33, or 42, then you are in a personal year 7, the same as what I am for the whole of 2026. And then now in March, it means your personal month number is a 1. So 7 is deep, introspective, analytical, taking stock, what's working, what's not working, analyzing your business, going through the figures, why are these figures low, what's not working here, and also taking time to rest, because on the seventh day, he rested, it says in scripture. But I'm not punting scripture, it's just that numbers always ring true if they've stood the test of time. And so the 7 is about rest and recharging your batteries this year, taking stock, analyzing your life, good time to study, good time to do research. And now your personal month number is 1. So now in March, you'll be going like, right, now let me set my goals. I know what I want to research. I know what I want to study. Let me start setting those things into motion. I know what I want to analyze. So how am I going to go about it? Let me get started. And the card that goes with that, number 24, the harmonious home. Okay, so the 7 can withdraw. It can be a little bit of a lone wolf. And the 1 can be sometimes very self-absorbed. So you've got a lone wolf wanting time for themselves, and the 1 which wants to start setting their goals and getting ahead with their life. What stays behind? The family. And 24, 2 says we are a group of people working together. 4 says we have routines and everything works like clockwork. We know what time we get up, what time we have lunch. Because in a group of people, you do have to have certain routines and rules and things like that. And then 2 plus 4 adds up to 6. And 6 is all about love and intimate love, which is the family, the children, the parents. And the 4 and the 6 together are very, very traditional. So it's a very traditional, safe, honest, harmonious and calm environment. And you don't want to neglect that with your 7 and your 1 energy. So let's see what the blessings are for that. So the blessing before you is the ability to weave nurturing, lasting bonds. You are gifted with the power to attract support from those in positions of influence and wisdom. Your ability to organize both at home and in your work is a quiet strength, allowing you to build a foundation of stability and love. And remember, I said globally, we are in a 4 month now in March, and that's all about building foundations. And this says allowing you to build a foundation of stability and love. Okay, so don't forget your loved ones, guys. Okay. So if your day and month of birth adds up to, let me just drop this a little bit, it seems to be reflecting. Okay, 7, 16, 25, 34, or 43. Then for the whole of 2026, you are in a personal year 8. Now, 8 is like the apex or the top of the pinnacle of your 9-year cycle. Your 9-year carries on with the momentum of the 8-year as you start winding down, healing, letting go. But the 8-year and the 8 is karmic. What goes around comes around. So when things go well in an 8-year, it means that you're in credit and you've got payouts due to you in the form of opportunities or something or money. But if you are in debit, it means that you're going to have to repay that karma before you can move forward. So if things are going well, great. If things are not going well, don't ask why. Look at yourself and see what is being reflected back to you that you may have done to others. Because what goes around comes around. What you do to others is done to you. And so just think very deeply about that. And your personal month number is then a 2. And the 2 is about going with the flow. The 8 is about, I've got stamina, I can work 18 hours a day, time is money, and they are very focused on processes and making money. Where the 2 says, slow down, breathe, float, go with the flow. Everything happens in divine timing. So although you're in an 8 year, the world is just getting started now again. So you may be chomping at the bit, like eager, like a racehorse to jump out of that starting stalls. And yet the 2 is saying, no, relax, take it slowly, breathe, exhale, listen to the small, still voice. In other words, the way I look at this in business is, allow your intuition this month to lead you into where you are going to go later this year. Don't rush into it yet. Everything you try and push this month, not going to happen. There are going to be delays everywhere, guys. So you can push and push and push, and you are just going to be burning energy and hitting your head against a brick wall, and that's no fun. So take time to meditate, take time to be still, maybe near water, and just let your intuition come to you and lead you where you need to go in this personal year 8. And what this is saying, unreserved expression. This is the 3. In other words, take it slow, float, go with the flow. And if the flow is going to take you to a party or something that's fun to do or something creative, go do it, because that's going to unlock the creative thinking that you need to take your business forward. Okay, so just enjoy. Don't try and be too detail focused, too business orientated. This is telling me, no, you've got a month in which you still need to take it slow, and you still need to play a little bit. You need to come up, and while you're playing and your creative juices are flowing and you're talking and chatting to other people, you'll be amazed at the ideas that come in that will then move your business forward. So the blessings of the number 3. The blessing available to you now is the ability to bring happiness, not just to yourself, but to those around you, by sharing your creativity and positive energy. Your mind is clear, sharp, and curious. You have an artistic spark and a message within you that is waiting to be shared. You're mentally gifted, vibrant, and a natural strategist. Wherever you go, you light up the room. Oh wow, aren't these just some amazing traits to take into a business meeting? Remember, we're on a blank slate. So business as usual does not exist anymore, guys. It just doesn't exist. This is now business as unusual. So set the new trend, okay? And bring in your creativity and your positive energy into what would usually be a very kind of structured and maybe even somber business environment. And maybe this is also urging you to look at the more creative things that you could do and to build a business around that. Who knows? So if your day and month of birth add up to 8, 17, 26 or 35, then for the whole of 2026 you are in a personal year 9, and for March you are in a personal month number 3. So the 9 can be very dramatic. It can be it understands everything about every other number, and the 3 is very playful. It loves to be in the limelight. So you may find yourself playing a little bit this month, being a little bit of a drama queen, but in a nice way, or dramatizing things, just having a little bit of fun with that. So 9 is also about oneness, about peace, and the 3 is about joy. And these two together are very high on the vibrational frequency levels of consciousness. So with the 9 and the 3, creative, project management, on the stage, drama, talking to lots of people about philanthropic ideas that will help everybody in the world. So this is lots of chatter about saving the world. Maybe it's a launch for some way of raising money to save something on our planet. There are many ways in which you can interpret this combination, but this is quite a vibrant vibration. In the positive, in the negative, this goes into depression, and this goes into bitterness, angry, blaming everybody and everything around them. In the positive, the 9 sees the golden lining, the silver lining of the dark cloud. It once again sees the rainbows and the unicorns and wakes up and says, hello, big, bright, beautiful, kind and gentle world. Not waking up thinking of war, because 9 vibrates to Mars, which is the god of war, but the total opposite. And 3 says, I am the sunlight that comes into the room. When I walk into the room, the sun comes up, and this meeting has just become a party, guys, because the positive 3 has just walked into the room. The destructive 3 takes this into complete frivolity. It's parties and very shallow and look at me, and so we don't want that either. So, but the lovely energies to play around with. And the card, a word that's come up for this, 108, which is spiritual enlightenment. So I need to add a little bit more to this as well. 9 is completion, right? 108 adds up to 9. 1 plus 0 plus 8 is 9. So 9 is the number of completion, and source sits on the 9th level of the 9th plane. So 9 is the number of completion and of source and of our creator and of unconditional love. Okay. And personal month 3 is about creation. 3 is linked to the mind, and specifically when we are talking about spiritual enlightenment, the 3 is linked to the subconscious mind, the world of archetypes, the world of signs and symbols, and the voice, the chanting, the deeper understanding of divinity. And so this is looking into the deeper, the subconscious, and 108 is spiritual enlightenment. Oh my word, this is a beautiful, beautiful energy. Oh, last page. Okay. So the blessing now flowing to you is a deep alignment with the rhythm of creation, where you are attuned to the cosmic order and the creator of all that is. Remember, I was saying this 9 has to do with source sitting on the 9th level of the 9th plane, and the rhythms of creation. 3 is the number of creation. Okay, you take a father, a number 1, a mother, a number 2. That's the yin and the yang, 1 and 2. Add them together, and then there were 3. So this is the creation number of a child and of anything else as well. And in this sacred moment, the mysteries of the multiverse's geometry unfold before you, offering profound insight should you choose to seek it. You are weaving yourself into the tapestry of your destiny, a path illuminated by spiritual clarity, whether through chanting, breath work, meditation, or any other sacred practice. Engage deeply with your divine essence. 108 times or for 108 minutes. In this sacred act, you invoke blessings of peace, serenity, and profound connection to the universe. I like. Okay. So, breathe it in, trust your rhythm, and return next month. And to purchase your deck of numerology oracle cards, or to purchase and download one of my ebooks, you can go to my website, janetsnumerology.com, and you will find everything there. Okay, so until next time, guys, next month, have a beautiful month. Lay those foundations. Decide what direction you want to go in. There are no more roadmaps, okay? There's no limits. Remember what card came up? The zero. We're at the 0 point. Zero, limitless potential, but no guidance as to what direction to take it in. That is up to you. So have a beautiful and an awesome month. Bye for now.